Glad you could join us for 7:30 News Bulletin. My name is Fales Jazombe. First, the headlines. Pope Leo XIV prays for Europe to overcome tensions and discover unity. HRDC hails President Mutharika's travel directive as commitment to physical discipline and accountability. SEDET urges RBM to hold finance bank payout, calls for judicial accountability reforms. And in other news, World Health Organization urges United States of America to share COVID-19 origins findings to prevent future pandemics. We do have the details to these stories and more. Do stay with us. Pope Leo XIV has called on Europe to overcome tension and rediscover unity as he addressed pilgrims during his weekly general audience on 11 February 2026. Reflecting on Saint Leo and the Methodius apostles of the slaves and pastors of Europe, the Pope said their witness can help renew the spiritual vitality of the continent and strengthen its Christian roots. Pope Leo recorded that two saints whose liturgical memory is celebrated on 14 February are regarded as fathers of Christianity, language and culture among the Slavic people. We have a Vatican News report read by Charity Chiranga.
The Holy Father encouraged the faithful to return to their apostolic spirit, echoing the appeal of St. John Paul II in order to contribute to building a new unity in Europe capable of overcoming religious and political divisions and long-standing antagonisms. Marking the World Day of the Sick, Pope Leo entrusted all who suffer illness and their families to the maternal care of the Blessed Virgin Mary. Upon arriving in the Paul VI Hall, Pope Leo lit a candle before the statue of Our Lady of Lourdes and later planned to do the same at the Lourdes Grotto in the Vatican Gardens as a visible sign of prayerful solidarity with the sick throughout the world. Speaking in Spanish, the Pope noted that this year's World Day of the Sick was being observed at the shrine of Our Lady of Peace in Chiclayo, Peru, a place especially dear to him. He said he was especially united with those gathered there and had sent Cardinal Michael Zeni, prefect of the dicastery for promoting integral human development, to represent him at the celebrations. The Holy Father also remembered those who have died or been affected by severe flooding in Colombia, entrusting the victims to Mary's intercession and urging the wider community to support affected families through charity, closeness, and prayer. Looking ahead to the beginning of Lent next Wednesday, Pope Leo XIV described the season as a privileged time for deepening knowledge and love of the Lord, examining one's heart and fixing one's gaze more firmly on Christ. Pope Leo concluded with the hope that prayer, fasting, and almsgiving would strengthen Christians in their daily commitment to take up the cross and faithfully follow the Lord.
The Association of Consecrated Women in Eastern and Central Africa has urged consecrated women in the Catholic Church to renew the face of the Church through their daily activities and ministries. Representing a Quaker sister, Celestine Nasaili, and Obstrate sister of the Assumption from Kenya, said consecrated women have a vital role to play in ensuring they are not left behind in matters concerning the synod and synodality. She explained that a Quaker has trained and commissioned ambassadors of synodality among consecrated women to promote active involvement in the synodal process. Emmanuel Chocha reports.
Speaking to Luntha television, Sister Nasiali said consecrated women within the Akweka region understand their responsibility to reawaken and renew the face of the church through various apostolic activities. She added that the recent training on the synod and synodality has equipped sisters to actively participate through the pillars of communion, participation, and mission.
As we live our religious life, let us look at our social enterprises in line with the theme of synodality so that we are able to capture, to get even the vulnerable people who are far away from each other. Let us bring people together to participate in all that we are doing. So the synod and synodality is a theme, or is the way the sisters are living. They are living it, but at the moment we want to create more awareness to reawaken the face of the church through synod and synodality.
In her remarks, Sister Veronica Ngomba of the Sisters of Charity of Ottawa said consecrated women in Malawi are prepared to plant and promote the spirit of synodality across all dioceses in the country.
Our plan is what I've shared with you, but also we are planning to go to the Nazarenes. When I say Nazarenes, I mean formation houses. So it will begin from there. After that one, that's when we'll be meeting different sisters, scholastics, but also those ones who have done their jubilees up to that age, maybe in their 80s, at least also they have to know what Pope Francis left with us behind. So this is a part of our game that we need to play here in Malawi.
Representing the Sisters of the Mother Teresan, Sister Catherine Nyelenda emphasized that the sisters in Malawi are ready to ensure that the synodal theme, communion, participation, and mission is fully implemented.
The impact which is going to bring in congregations as well as the church, you know, in the synod or synodality or in the synodal document, there are three themes or key themes which have been highlighted, and these are communion, where as the church we are called to live together, to work together. In whatever we do, we have to do it together. We have to work together as a church.
Akweka is a regional religious association that fosters collaboration, resource sharing, and promotes spiritual and holistic formation for religious women. Its mission is to empower, unite, and strengthen consecrated women for deeper evangelization while addressing shared challenges in the region. For Luntha News, this is Emmanuel Chiocha.
The Human Rights Defenders Coalition chairperson Michael Kayata has commended President Arthur Mutharika for directing cabinet ministers and their deputies to limit local travel, describing the move as a clear demonstration of the government's commitment to physical discipline and accountability as the country works towards economic recovery. In a directive issued on 11 February 2026, government has restricted local travel for ministers and deputy ministers to 1 trip per month as part of the broader austerity measures. Speaking in an interview with Luntha television, Kayata described the directive as a positive and timely step aimed at reducing government expenditure and ongoing economic challenges, noting that controlling travel expenses is a practical measure that can help ease pressure on public resources. Kayata has urged other public institutions to adopt similar cost-cutting measures to ensure that more resources are directed toward essential services such as healthcare, education, and infrastructure development. Our reporter Alison Banda caught up with Kayata.
Having such a directive is important, but it's not enough. I think it's important that there should be adequate follow through. It is important that there should be monitoring whether the directive is being implemented or not. And if it's not being implemented, there should be consequences, meaning to say that for those ministers or deputy ministers that are not complying with that directive, they need to face consequences. They need to have sanctions. Otherwise, if failure to comply will not attract any consequences or penalties, that directive will not achieve anything.
Government has appealed to citizens to take responsibility for maintaining and protecting the newly constructed Lilongwe Bridge, emphasizing that it is a significant investment for the country's development. Minister of Transport and Public Works, Japim Hango, made the remarks on Thursday as he presided over the official handover of the newly constructed Lilongwe Bridge by the government of Japan to the government of Malawi. Mhango expressed that government is committed to ensuring that transport infrastructure and services are improved to best serve the public, noting that beyond facilitating the movement of people, goods and services, the transport is a catalyst to the growth and development of other productive sectors of the economy. Tandun Zumara has filed this report.
Mhango described the newly constructed Lilongwe Bridge as a very important asset for Malawians, noting that it creates a more conducive environment for motorists and improves cross-border connectivity along the country's main north and south artery. Responding to concerns over widespread road damage across the country, Mhango reiterated government's determination to rehabilitate damaged roads, disclosing that work is set to commence as soon as the rainy season ends, with priority given to roads most affected by the recent downpours.
Very important asset to the people of Malawi because it is creating a very, very conducive environment for our motorists. But above all, it also creates a better opening for our connectivity with other countries. Remember, this bridge has been built on the M1, which is our major road that connects both Tanzania and Mozambique. So it is a very, very important asset to the people of this country.
Ambassador of Japan in Malawi, Yasushi Naito, expressed his government's commitment to the Nakala Corridor's development, considering the Lilongwe Bridge project as the first step. Naito also pledged long-standing bilateral friendship and operational support, offering technical cooperation and partnership so that Malawi can benefit from Japanese experience in implementing engineering and infrastructure projects.
Jobs and also people's enhance people's lives, so promote lives livelihood. So as the Director General said and the Minister said, we are now going forward to the southern extension of the bridge, southern extension of the road, starting from the bridge.
Lilongwe City Mayor Alex Banda has since warned traders in the city that the law will apply to everyone conducting businesses in unauthorized areas, such as along the roadsides and on the Lilongwe Bridge, as well as those who dispose of waste indiscriminately.
I will make sure that everyone will take care of this bridge because, sometimes when people give you something, you need to say thanks. So because the Japanese, they don't need something to us, they need the thanks. Our thanks is to clean to clean the bridge. So I will make sure that everyone, and I will not allow any vendor to do the business on the road.
The Lilongwe Bridge has been constructed to the amount of about $22 million. The government of Japan financed the 78 meters long 5-dual carriageway bridge through the Japan International Cooperation Agency, JICA. For Luntha News, this is Tandiwe Mzumara.
Remember that you're watching news coming to you live from Bishop Navy Media Center, and today you're with me, Fales Chisombe. Before we proceed, let's have another look at the headlines. Pope Leo XIV prays for Europe to overcome tensions and rediscover unity. HRDC hails President Mutharika's travel directive as commitment to physical discipline and accountability. SEDET urges RBM to hold finance bank payout, calls for judicial accountability reforms. And in other news, World Health Organization urges United States of America to share COVID-19 origins findings to prevent future pandemics. Moving forward, the Center for Democracy and Economic Development Initiative (CDED) has called on the Reserve Bank of Malawi not to pay the compensation to Finance Bank of Malawi, arguing that the payout will worsen the country's economic burden and unfairly punish already overtaxed Malawians. According to CDED Executive Director Sylvester Namiwa, Paying the compensation would reward judicial inefficiency and worsen the tax burden on Malawians, urging the court authorities to find alternative remedies that will not punish taxpayers. Namiwa was speaking during a Senate press briefing on Thursday at Crown Hotel in Lilongwe. We have more details in this report filed by Gift Kalonga.
According to Namiwa, should the Reserve Bank of Malawi pay the bank, it would be rewarding 21 years of judicial inefficiency and unfairly burden already overtaxed Malawians. He urged the Registrar of Courts to explore alternative remedies that hold the Reserve Bank of Malawi accountable without penalizing taxpayers. Namiwa also called for a review of the retirement age for judicial officers, saying it should align with the public service standard of 60 years to ensure fairness. He added that judicial independence should not exempt officers from accountability, especially in high-profile cases or delayed rulings. Namiwa stressed that public offices must serve the public interest, questioning whether large payouts to individuals achieve this goal.
Question and force for correctiveness of those dubious rulings, because just like the executive, the legislature, the judiciary uses our own taxes. And Section 12 of the Republican Constitution is very clear. They are using powers or authority that derives from the people of Malawi, and they have to do so solely to serve public interests. Now, think of this. By awarding such colossal sums of money to individuals, are they serving public interest?
Meanwhile, SIDED has warned that if the High Court Registrar fails to act on their call, they will mobilize for resignation of the panel of judges who presided over the Meanwhile, SIDED has warned that if the High Court Registrar fails to act on their call, they will mobilize the resignation of the panel of judges who preside over the FMB case. During the briefing, Namiwa said SIDED has received reports from Malawians about widespread illegal firearm possession in Lilongwe, which is threatening peace and security in the city. He has since called on Malawi Police Service and the Malawi Defense Force to conduct a joint operation to confiscate the illegal firearms and restore safety. For Luntha News in Lilongwe, this is Gift Kalonga.
Umodzi Party has urged members of parliament to prioritize matters of national security as the 2026-2027 budget meeting of parliament opens on Friday tomorrow. Speaking at a press briefing in Luntha on Thursday, Umodzi Party President Thomas Kaumba said the country is facing serious security challenges that require urgent intervention from lawmakers. Kaumba cited recent cases of abductions and killings, including those on persons with albinism. Constance Kantemeni has more details in this report.
Kaumba expressed concern over what he described as worsening security situation in the country, also citing the recent kidnapping of Crossroads Hotel Executive Director Samia Screen in Lilongwe, who was abducted in broad daylight at his workplace and has not yet been located. Kaumba further raised concerns about illegal immigration, claiming it is putting pressure on the country's already limited resources and posing a threat to national security. He has since called on members of parliament to use the upcoming sitting to deliberate on national security. He has since called on members of parliament to use the upcoming sitting to deliberate on national security and demand accountability from the executive. He has also asked President Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika to address the issue when delivering his State of the Nation address and consider releasing findings of the 2019 Commission of Inquiry into killings of the persons with albinism.
Country, we have illegal immigrants that have come into our country. They are using part of our resources, although we are already struggling, but they are still using our resources. They are in the country here. At the same time, they are threatening the security of our nation. So, as a party, we saw that it was very, very much important that we should issue this statement.
President Mutharika is expected to present his second comprehensive State of the Nation address, SONA, since returning to power on September 16, 2025. For Luntha News in Lilongwe, this is Constance Kamtemin.
Minister of Education, Science and Technology, Bryden Saka, has described school feeding as a vital intervention for improving learners' orientation and academic performance. Speaking during the launch of the Emergency Lean Season School Meals Program by the World Food Program in Nzomba, Saka said the program is designed to improve learners' performance by providing meals that enhance children's concentration and learning outcomes. He then emphasized that the government aims to expand the initiative nationwide by 2030 while promoting community-based food production to sustain the program. Judy Fogan has filed this report read in our studios by Tandiwe Nzumara.
Through the school feeding program, children are being provided with porridge made from maize flour, soybeans, sugar, and other nutrients to meet their dietary needs, particularly during the lean months of January to March. Nsaka has noted that this is a strategic investment in education, essential for keeping children in school, improving pass rates, and reducing dropout levels, emphasizing the importance of eliminating hunger as a barrier to education.
For donors to continue feeding our children forever, we must take on that responsibility. We believe that school feeding is an important investment in education. And education is an important investment in the nation. So without education, this country cannot progress. And for education to progress, you need school feeding program.
The Irish ambassador to Malawi, Kate Brady, has expressed her government's commitment towards supporting Malawi through both development and emergency interventions, including a recent UNICEF-supported program addressing acute malnutrition among children under 5.
But of course we have contributed extensively to the lean season response, and we're proud of what we've been able to accomplish. We do not anticipate providing more this year, though just this week we signed a contract with UNICEF to the value of $1 million, providing support to addressing acute malnutrition in children under 5. And we're hopeful that that will be able to relieve some of the burden of this lean.
Also present was Minister of Defence Feston Kauba, who highlighted government's efforts to embed sustainability within the program by assisting communities to grow maize and soya, ensuring the production of fortified flour for school meals continues beyond donor support. Through the financial support of Iceland and German governments, the program will reach over 338,000 learners in 278 schools across the targeted districts.
And in international news, the World Health Organization on Wednesday urged Washington to share any intelligence it may be withholding on the COVID-19 pandemic's origins, despite the United States quitting the WHO. The global catastrophe killed an estimated 20 million people, according to the UN Health Agency, while shredding economies, crippling health systems, and turning people's lives upside down. The first cases were detected in Wuhan in China in late 2019, and understanding where the SARS-CoV-2 virus came from is seen as key to preventing future pandemics. We have an Africa News report read by Charity Chilanga.
On his first day back in office in January 2025, US President Donald Trump handed the WHO his country's 1 year withdrawal notice, which cited the organization's mishandling of the COVID-19 pandemic. Trump's administration has officially embraced the theory that the virus leaked from a virology laboratory in Wuhan. But the WHO said Washington did not hand over any COVID origins intelligence before marching out the organization's door. WHO Chief Tedros Adhanom recalled that some countries have publicly said they have intelligence about the origins, especially the US. Therefore, several months ago, the UN Health Agency wrote to senior officials in the United States, urging them to share any intelligence information that they have. The WHO's investigations have proved inconclusive, pending further evidence, with all hypotheses still on the table. Tedros asked any government which had intelligence on the COVID-19 pandemic's origins to share the information so that the WHO would be able to reach a conclusion. As the U.S. notice countdown expired on January 22nd, Secretary for State Marco Rubio and Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. said the WHO had obstructed the timely and accurate sharing of critical information that could have saved American lives. They also claimed the WHO had tarnished and trashed everything that America has done for it. WHO said in reply that the reverse was true. The WHO Constitution does not include a withdrawal clause, but the United States reserved the right to withdraw when it joined the WHO in 1948 on condition of giving 1 year's notice and meeting its financial obligations in full for that fiscal year. The notice period has now expired, but Washington has still not paid its 2024 or 2025 dues, owing around $260 million United States dollars, according to data published by the World Health Organization.
That Africa News Report read by Charity Chilanga concludes our today's news bulletin. Before we go, another look at the headlines. Pope Leo XIV prays for Europe to overcome tensions and rediscover unity. HRDC hails President Mutharika's travel directive as commitment to physical discipline and accountability. SEDET urges RBM to hold finance bank payout, calls for judicial accountability reforms. And in other news, World Health Organization urges United States of America to share COVID-19 origins findings to prevent future pandemics. I have been Fales Chizombe. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to tune in for the rest of our programs here on Luntha Television. Stay safe and goodbye.